Good morning. This is Pastor Marvin Osborn, the First Baptist Church of Birmingham, Ohio. I hope you're well today. We're in 2 Timothy chapter 2, and we've been talking about Paul giving Timothy these illustrations of how to endure, how to suffer, what to expect when ministering as a pastor or just serving in the church. There's a lot of heartache. There's a lot of hardship. And he used the illustration of a soldier. Remember that? Endure hardness. There's a preparation for battle. You don't want weak soldiers in the field. You want men and women who are prepared for the battle ahead. Paul tells Timothy, be prepared. Ministry is hard. He uses the illustration of that of an athlete about sacrifice, that self-sacrifice, that ability to put your own needs aside for the sake of the reward, the crown that awaits all that only goes to those who are prepared enough to go after it, based on abilities and so forth. But for the sake of this is that they have to play within the rules. They have to keep their bodies pure. They have to sacrifice. You see those again. I use that illustration of a track athlete, and they're running just a 100-meter dash, and you see them with very little clothes on. They the lightest of shoes, and they've prepared everything. Their diet, their practices, their discipline for so many years to prepare for something that's going to last for a couple of seconds, and not everybody's going to win, but they're there to do their very best, and of course to win. He says that ministry is like that as well. There's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of doing without the things that maybe other people are prone to do, and there's nothing wrong with those things. But for a person in the ministry, there's a lot of sacrifices, things that you can't participate in or shouldn't participate in, that others may feel free to do because you do it because of the testimony of Jesus Christ. The third illustration he uses that of a farmer. He says the husbandman that laboreth must be first partaker of the fruits, and he uses the illustration here. And number one, he uses that of a hardship of a soldier, the hardship of an athlete, the hardship of a farmer, a husbandman being a farmer. And you understand the life of a farmer. Our church is situated here in a rural area, and a lot of cornfields and different fields like that around us. And these farmers work hard. There's a lot of sacrifice with that. And they have to prepare the field. They have to seed the field. They have to water the field. They have to fertilize the field. And then they have to harvest the field and all the things that go along with it. More than I could ever imagine goes into being a successful farmer. And he says that he uses this man, this or woman, as an example of hardship, all that they go through in order to receive the fruits of their labor. And he says the husband that laboreth must be first a partaker of the fruits. A farmer sows the seed and he waters the ground and all those things, so he can, number one, provide for his own family, but also so he can make a profit and so he can help others as well. He says there's a lot of sacrifice involved in it, and yet there's much to be received of that as well. There's a great reward for being a pastor. I love what I do. Wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't be a CEO of Google. I wouldn't want to be the president of the United States. I love being a pastor. I love speaking to you on these daily videos. It's a joy for me. What's the old saying? If you do something you love, you never have to work a day in your life. That is me. I am so thankful for all that God has allowed me to do. And I love the church that I'm involved in. I love these people. It's a blessing. It's a sacrifice. It is a hard work. Just today, the several counseling things that have just come up. Sometimes you go a long period of time where you don't have hospital visits and you don't have stuff going on in people's lives and everything else. But today it's been, I think, 3 calls while I'm doing these videos that I've received, and of having to spend time with those who are struggling. And you know what? It is a hardship. It is a weight that I willingly do because I love my people. I love my people, and if I can help, then I'm fulfilling God's calling in my life. He says that there are sacrifices that one must make. He says, and then he uses the illustration of the Lord himself. He says, consider what I say, and the Lord give thee understanding in all things. Remember that Jesus Christ of the seed of David was raised from the dead according to my gospel. Paul uses Jesus Christ as the ultimate example of enduring hardship. Remember all that he has done. He was left the splendor of heaven to be born of a virgin in that manger and to live a hand to mouth type of existence. He didn't live in a palace. He didn't live in a mansion. He lived as a common man and among common people. He came to sacrifice his life for on the cross, his death and his burial and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Paul says to Timothy, remember how a soldier responds, how he is trained. Remember how an athlete trains. Remember how a farmer prepares. But ultimately, we remember what Jesus Christ has done. He is the reason why we do all this. He's the reason why we sacrifice. He's the reason why we give so much. He's the reason why we don't give up. He's the reason why we're called to be strong, because none of us, no matter how much we've endured in this life, will even compare to all that he did and all that he suffered for our faith, to save you and I. If we do it for nothing else, we do it because of what Jesus has done for you and I. And so he says, maintain the post. Don't give up. Begin to, instead of falling back, he says, move forward. Train competent men who will, in the things that you heard, the teachings of Christ, so that they too can now train others. Let's multiply ourselves. Let's disciple people so that the gospel of Jesus Christ continues to expand. And now, Timothy, you're not alone standing against all the struggles of within the church and outside the church. You have people that will stand with you as well. But remember, we do it. It's an honor to suffer for the one who left the splendor of heaven and suffered for you and I. What a blessing. What a blessing. This is Pastor Marvin Osborn saying, God loves you, and I love you as well. And I'll talk to you soon.